In this module, we will describe a framework for choosing a systems development methodology. The framework will help you think through the possibilities and make a choice. We will start with 4 questions. What is the speed of development? What is the logic of development? What is the method of development? And what is the scope of the project? First, what is the desired speed of development? Is it quick or can it be slow or normal? The development has to be quick if a problem has to be solved urgently or if there is an impending crisis. It can be slow or normal if there is no urgency of impending crisis. The time measure of the speed will depend on the scope of the project. What is quick for a large complex project may be slow for a small simple project and vice versa. Second, what is the logic of development? Is it ad hoc or is it systematic? The method of development may have no logic. It may be random, non-cumulative, and non-systemic, by design or by absence of design. Ad hoc development may be designed to discover innovative solutions through experimentation with new ideas. It may also reflect an ignorance of how to manage the development. On the other hand, the logic of development may be systematic, with an underlying logic, planned, cumulative, and systemic. Systematic development may reflect a deep knowledge of development from experience and the ability to articulate it, translate it into plans, modify it with new knowledge, and take a systemic view. Third, what is the method of development? Is it directive or is it iterative? Directive methods are unidirectional. There is little feedback and learning. They may be appropriate when the problem is well structured, knowledge is well established, and the developers are experts. Iterative methods are bidirectional. They have feedback and learning. They may be appropriate when the problem is ill structured, knowledge is not well established, and there are no experts. Fourth and last, what is the scope of the system? Is it small or is it large? A small system is likely to be simple with few users and stakeholders and have a local impact. A large system, on the other hand, is likely to be complex with many users and stakeholders and global impact. It may be easier to increase the speed of development of small system than a large system. One could be ad hoc with small systems, one has to be systematic with large systems. Similarly, it may be easier to articulate the logic of a small system and be directive in its development. On the other hand, it may be difficult to fully articulate the logic of a large system. One may have to be iterative in its development. Next, we will discuss how we can put together the answers to the 4 questions to choose a methodology of development. How do we put all the possibilities together? One way to think through the alternatives is to organize the possibilities as an ontology. The leftmost column of the ontology is named method and has the 2 methods listed under it. The second column is named logic and has the 2 types listed under it. We have also listed the 2 subtypes, sequential and parallel. The developers as a whole may follow the logic sequentially, or subgroups of developers may follow the same or different logic in parallel. The third column, speed, lists the 2 speeds of development. There are thus 8 types of development methods which can be derived from the ontology. They are listed at the bottom. If we include the sequential parallel subtypes, there would be 16. We have not shown the combinations with the subtypes. Let us consider a few of the combinations. The first one is directive ad hoc quick development method. It may be appropriate for a small, well understood problem. Perhaps one could pick an off the shelf solution instead of developing something anew. The development, if given to a committee or a large group of people, may be iterative, ad hoc, and slow. This happens often in bureaucratic organizations. On the other hand, for a large complex problem, a structured method may be necessary and it may necessarily be iterative, systematic, and slow. Rapid application development and agile methods can be seen as iterative, ad hoc, quick development methods. On the other hand, structured methods without feedback tend to be directive, systematic, and slow, while with feedback they could be iterative, systematic, and slow. The ontology can be used to choose an appropriate development methodology. First, one has to determine the scope of the system. Is it small or large? Next, what is the desired speed of development? Is it quick or slow? Third, what is the proposed logic of development? Is it ad hoc or systematic? And within it, is it sequential or parallel? Last, what is the proposed method? Is it directive or interactive? The answers to the above four questions will help define the characteristics of the methodology. It is possible that the answers to the above questions are not binary. One attribute may be in the foreground and another in the background. By prioritizing the categories, one can define the primary and the secondary characteristics of the desired methodology. For example, the primary emphasis for the main body of a large project may be on being directive, systematic, and slow, with a secondary emphasis on being iterative, ad hoc, and quick to generate innovative solutions in some key areas.